Hello everyone, welcome back to another lesson in Excel School. This is our one of the last few lessons on Excel formulas. Today we are going to talk about Excel Sumifs and Countifs formulas. These are very useful and very powerful formulas, and they have been introduced in Excel 2007, which is the newest version of Excel available for public, and they will be continued in Excel 2010 and onwards. So if you have Excel 2003 or below versions, probably this lesson will not make much sense to you. But I suggest you to watch this anyway, because you might eventually get upgraded to 2007 or 2010 eventually. And you don't want to miss out on all the goodies in the Excel 2010. Okay, I have prepared a thoroughly complete Excel worksheet for you, and you can see the whole data and one example formula here. I don't want to start all over again because this data set is already familiar to you. I have introduced this in the sum product lesson. This is a sample sales data categorized by month, salesperson, region and product, and then net sales are given. And we wanted to write some formulas that will help us summarize the data on a specific condition. For example, here the condition is wherever the salesperson is Lawrence, the region is West, we want to find out how much is the total sales amount for that. So in simple words, the query that manager asked you to find out is how much did Lawrence sell in the region West. Now we all know that this kind of thing can be easily found out using data filters. I'm just going to turn them on here. So if you want to find out how much Lawrence made, all you have to do is Lawrence and how much in the western region, select West, and that's it. Your net sales will be listed here. You can use the subtotal formula to find the total, but I don't want to go in that route because that may not be applicable for us in this several situations where conditions will change dynamically and we need to have summaries available to us on demand. That time you cannot apply data filters because they are good for one at a time, but if you want to have multiple conditions summarized and based on user selection in dashboards you want to update, this is not possible. So that's where in the sum product lesson I have told you how to use sum product formula to find the sum based on multiple conditions. Of course, if there is only one condition, we would all use the sum if formula. So as a new feature in Excel 2007, what Microsoft Excel did is they have introduced a formula called sum if s. It is a plural form of sum if in a way, and the way it works is I will just show you the syntax here. Sum ifs, and you just see the syntax. It will take the range of cells from which you want to sum, and then it will take multiple criteria ranges and criteria. So you should provide one sum range minimum, that is either net sales column or something like that, and then one criteria range where the criteria values are listed. In this case, first criteria range will be something like salesperson values, and the criteria itself, what is the criteria you want to match? You want to match whether it's Lawrence, or you want to match a partial value using wildcards like asterisk or something like that. And then you can give multiple sets like that, so multiple criterias and criteria lists and criterias. Here I have written an example formula. Here is one quick tip while we are talking about this. If you ever wanted to show the formula to someone just for auditing purpose, or just to teach someone how it is done, or just to remind yourself what the formula is like, you can just go to the cell where the formula is listed, for example here, and just go before the equal to sign and press a single quote like this. Single quote, not double quote. This is double quote, so this is single quote. And when you press enter, Excel will just show the formula instead of actually evaluating the formula. Another option that you can use is when you are in an Excel sheet with lot of formulas, you can just press Control and back quote. This is if you are using keyboard, this key is above the tab key. I am actually using a Danish keyboard, so I can't even see what this key is like on an English version, and I can't recollect it, but I think it is like a single quote, but instead it will be crossed out, something slanting. I guess you get the point. It's on the key on the top of the tab key. So if you are in Excel sheet and you want to see all the formulas, just press Control that key, and Excel will show you all the formulas. And as you can guess, it just screwed up the whole worksheet format also. Now you can't see everything here, but I will just scroll and show. So this is now showing all the formulas, and when you are done, you can just press the same key again, Control and the key above tab key. That's the key above tab and below the escape. It's actually next to the key number 1. Okay, so you can use these keys to quickly show the formulas. Of course, this trick works as well. That is, insert a single quote here, and then Excel will treat the formula as text. So I'm using that to show the formula to you. Here, look at the formula. What it is doing is the sum range is F4 through F1082, which is the column F where the net sales values are listed. So we want to have the sum of all the sales that the salesperson Lawrence made. The salesperson Lawrence, this is the criteria, and the criteria range itself is there in the C column, and the region we want is for West, and the range is D4 to D1082, and the result is shown here. It's the same formula, but this time I didn't put the single quote, so Excel evaluated it for us, and this is the outcome. If you remember our lesson on sum product, it's the same value. So I have a few more examples. I'll quickly run through these examples, and we will also talk about Countifs formula, which is exactly same as Sumifs. The only difference is there is no sum range, because you are just going to count. You are going to give just multiple criterias and criteria ranges, and Excel will tell you how many values have met these criteria, all the criteria, not just one. Okay. So the next example I wanted to show you is this one, where we also have a date. Okay, this is just the same example we did in the sum product lesson. So another criteria I have added. There is literally no change here, except that we need to add one more criteria range, which is column B, where the dates are listed here, and then the date value of 1/1/2007. This is the result. Again, the date value. I'll show you some more interesting formulas to you. This is the Countif example, where it is the same formula as it is here, but instead of summing, we are just counting. So in this case, I have removed, if you contrast it with here, sum, if we are using sum range also, but in Countifs example, we don't have that. We are just using criteria ranges, and the result is salesperson Lawrence made 3 sales in the Western region in the month of January 2007. Okay, so this is the result. The final example I have here is for a criteria. I'm sorry for this mistake. Okay, a criteria where we want to find out how many sales Lawrence made in Western region after 1/1/2008, 1st January 2008. So this is a greater than criteria, not equal to. In this case, the formulas even for Countifs or Sumifs are same, except that after the criteria range like this, you are going to put a greater than symbol, ampersand. So now you want to have greater than of this date value. Okay, this is a very good trick that you can use, and he made 51 sales just for the record. But remember, you can use this greater than, you can also use less than or greater than, equal to, or any of those things. For example, before 1/1/2008, he made that many, and he made 3 more sale in 1/1/2008. So you can use like that, or you can just say not equal to, like this, which is excluding that particular date what are the sales made. So you can use these operators, logical operators, to check for a particular condition on any of the criteria. You can even do the same thing here. How many sales all the sales people other than Lawrence made in the region West on all the dates except 1/1/2008. It's a fairly complicated query, and the result is very simple. I suggest using these countifs and sumifs formulas for the main reason that they're very simple to understand, they're very powerful, and they work like charm. You don't have to be a pro, like you have to master the sumifs, some product formula, and then all these double hyphen tricks and all that. None of those things. You don't feel like you're doing some black magic when you're using these formulas. It's a very straightforward formula. You give multiple criteria and conditions and it works. So it is hassle free. There is only one drawback, that these formulas do not have backward compatibility. That means if you have a sumifs for countifs formula and you are trying to save this Excel workbook and send it to your colleague or a friend who doesn't have Excel 2007, Excel is going to give you this nasty fidelity error saying that no, you can't save this. So I hope that helps you. Just keep this in mind when you are using these formulas in your work. But I guess for most practical reasons this is not a problem, because given the chance that you have Excel 2007, the chances are very high that all your colleagues also have Excel 2007. So you don't really have to worry unless you work with cross-functional teams, cross-organizational teams where your customers may not have, and things like that. That happens very rarely for few people. Like for me, I always talk to people who are working in some other companies and they may not have access to these features, so I use Excel 2003. Okay, enough is enough, and I hope you have learned some really cool tricks about these formulas, and I encourage you to use these formulas in day to day and let me know your experience. You can also ask your questions using comments, and I'll be glad to help you if I can. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, you have a good time. Bye.